Many years ago, I read the life of Swami Vivekananda, and in that I read that after his historic speech at the Parliament of Religions in Chicago, he lived for 4 more years in the West, preaching the message of Vedanta. And after 3 years of his preaching, from 1893 to 1896, he had done hard work and he needed rest. And so his disciples, Western disciples, arranged for his trip to the Western countries for rest. So I had read all that. He went to Holland, France, Germany, and particularly to Switzerland, and he stayed for about 15 days in Switzerland. And in Switzerland, he moved among the snow-clad mountains, and that reminded him about the great Himalayas. And Swamiji had naturally great fascination for Himalayas. And there in the mountains, Alps mountains, he got remembrance of Himalayas, and there, particularly in Saas-Fee, he told Captain Sevier and Mrs. Sevier about his desire of having an ashrama fully devoted to Advaita alone somewhere in Himalayas. And I also read Swamiji had gone into deep spiritual state. He had great spiritual experience in Saas-Fee. After reading all those things, I had a desire of knowing what would be Saas-Fee like, or Switzerland like, and of course France, Germany, Holland. And then also I had read how he went to UK, and there how Sister Nivedita was impressed by the speech of Swami Vivekananda in a house where Nivedita met for the first time. So I had a desire of visiting the houses where Swami Vivekananda stayed, the house where Sister Nivedita for the first time came in contact with Swami Vivekananda, and also the places visited by Swamiji in France, particularly in Saas-Fee, in Switzerland. But I never dreamt that my desire will be fulfilled. But it got fulfilled in a very strange way. I got an invitation from Coventry University for participating in the second international conference on disaster management. This was of course done because of the goodness of Dr. Ellen Hunter. Dr. Ellen Hunter and his wife Mrs. Joy Hunter, they both of them are great devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, and they are running a private center in Coventry in UK, Sarda Vedanta Center. They had come 2 years back to India and to Porbandar, and that time they came in contact with me, and they had expressed a desire that I should go to their place and I should go to UK for lecturing, but that was not possible. Last year also they had wanted me to go, but our headquarters did not permit. But this time, when he came to know that there was an international conference being organized at Coventry University, and he also works as a professor in Coventry University, he told them about the great earthquake relief work that had been done by Ramakrishna Mission in Gujarat. So, at his instance, they invited me, they exempted me from the fees, and our great friends were there, Sri Kishore Bhai Shah of Jinendra Foundation and Gopal Bhai Popat of Asian Foundation for Help UK. They had been also inviting me for many years, but I could not go. So they very gladly agreed to pay the travel expenses. And when Sri Bhogibhai Patel came to know He is also a great devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. He was in Gujarat when I received this invitation, and when I received the permission from our headquarters for going to UK, he became very happy. He spent 6 months in Europe, and 6 months he spends in India. His only job, he gets great pleasure in taking Swamijis with him in his car and driving them. So in Europe, when he is there, he drives all those Swamijis of Europe centers. When he is in India, he comes with us wherever we want to go. He says, Swamiji, I'll take you. That is his great desire. So when he came to know I am going to UK, then he volunteered. He said, Swamiji, I'll take you everywhere to Europe. Every year I go to Europe in our centers. And since you want to see our centers there in Europe, I'll take you all the centers. So everything was arranged by the Lord. Invitation came by the Lord's wish and Lord's grace. I got the permission from our headquarters. They exempted me from the fees. The organizers, Kishore Bhai Shah and Gopal Bhai Popat, they volunteered to give the travel expenses of my travel from India to UK and back. And Bhogi Bhai Patel volunteered to take me all over Europe in his car. So everything was arranged by the Lord. So I started, the conference was on 22nd and 23rd of April. I started on 20th from Bombay at morning 4 o'clock by Emirates Airways. Emirates Airways gives good services. That's why our travel agents, they booked my ticket by Emirates Airways direct to Birmingham, because Birmingham would be nearer Coventry rather than going to Heathrow Airport. So my ticket was from Bombay to Birmingham, but then we have to change the flight at Dubai. So the flight from Bombay to Dubai takes about 3.5 hours, but I reached there about 6:30, because as you know I'm going to the west, so I gain time. So 6:30 I was there, and Emirates Airways, their services are very nice. All the time they are going on giving something for drinking, something for food and all that. But I did not feel like taking anything. Whole night I was in the airport and reading books and this and that. And then this was Brahma Muhurta, I don't want to take anything. So I did not take anything. At 6:30 we reached the airport. Now 8 o'clock is our next flight. So I was waiting for the call for the next flight. Security was already there. So we were just waiting for the call for the next flight. At that time I felt if I could get a cup of coffee or tea, that would be welcome, because I had not taken anything in the flight. But now where to go and all that, again I have to move out of the security and all that. I said, don't worry, after 8 o'clock again in the flight they are going to give so many things. So I will rather go without it. Just when I was thinking like this, there was a lady by the side. Swamiji, will you kindly take a cup of coffee? I was amazed. What is this Holy Mother operating even in Dubai? She said, you see, I had brought 2 cups of coffee, one for myself, one for my son, but he is not taking cup of coffee. If you kindly take, I'll be obliged. I said, I will be also obliged, please give. Most welcome. Then I thanked her. Then I found out she was a lady from Pakistan, you see. But then you see, the whole world is one. So I had a nice cup of coffee, and then 8 o'clock again the flight started. Again the flight is 6 hours, but we reached at 12 o'clock at Birmingham Airport, and it was we were flying at 35,000 feet high. Naturally, it's so very cold, and so then they had provided blankets, so there was no problem, and all the facilities were there. So it went on very well. I had my own books also, plus they had made all the arrangements. They for others they have so lot of sort of entertainment program also. Each and every person has got this video on the seat itself. Anyway, so at 12 o'clock I reached Birmingham airport, and Alan Hunter was there to receive me. Bhogibhai Patel was also there to receive me. Both of them had come. So immediately they took me to, and of course Dr. Kalla had also come. No, Dr. Kalla came in the evening. Then I went to Sarda Vedanta Center, that is the house of Alan Hunter. I was accommodated in his house upstairs. There is a single room upstairs. It's a good, beautiful, nice house. One room they have completely given for this satsang. So there is a shrine of the photographs of Thakur Ma Swamiji, Ramakrishna Sardadevi, Swami Vivekananda, and every day they have evening arti, and then weekly satsang and all that goes on. So I was accommodated in the upstairs, 3rd floor, one single room, nice accommodation. And in the evening, many devotees came to meet me. That Kishore Bhai Shah also came. Many Gujaratis are staying in Coventry, and they were in touch with us. They had been patronizing our activities. They had sent money for earthquake relief. And Kishore Bhai Shah, Jinendra Foundation, they gave us this mobile vehicle, mobile medical van, and they go on supporting us for our organizing eye camps and medical camps and all that. So there were so many devotees who were known to me through correspondence, and some of them had come to India. So they were living in Coventry. They came to meet me in the evening. They attended satsang. That is, we had only prayers and all that. And of course, when Dr. Kalla, Open Kalla, he was a scientist in ISRO. He was instrumental in big projects of satellites also. Now he is he has started his own organization, private organization in Jodhpur, that is in Rajasthan. But previously, when he was in ISRO, he was in Ahmedabad, and so he was the president of the private center, Ramakrishna Vivekananda Center in Ahmedabad. That's why we were in very intimate touch with him. So he was very happy, and the whole family was there because his 2 sons are there. One son is working, doing his PhD in Coventry, another son is doing his PhD in Nottinghamshire. So both the sons were there, and their family members were there. So all the family members came, and I met all the people on 20th. 21st, we had just an off day. So we went to see the Sri Krishna temple in Coventry in the morning, and in the evening there was an informal get-together and some sort of a talk, a get-together discussions, question answer and all that. That was on 21st evening at Coventry at Alan Hunter's place. 22nd whole day for the conference. So I had to speak on 22nd itself in the afternoon. Now the thing is that the conference was on disaster management. They had given me 30 minutes, and I had to prepare this PowerPoint presentation. But somehow that I could not get time. I was so busy all along that I could not prepare the PowerPoint presentation. So what I did is that for the relief work, we had taken a lot of video cassettes. All the projects we did and all the inauguration of the school buildings. We constructed 81 school buildings total in Gujarat, and 6 colonies, which means 390 earthquake resistant houses at the cost of about 200 million rupees. So many video cassettes were there. From there I prepared a CD of half an hour, but then I came to know that I have the total time available is only 30 minutes, including question answer. So then again I prepared another CD of 10 minutes, which gives the glimpse of the whole of our relief work. So I took that video CD and I gave a background of, first of all, when the person was introducing me, he could not pronounce my name. It's such a big name. That happened everywhere. Whenever I go, they say it's very complicated and long name. So he told that he himself will introduce. The Swamiji himself will introduce himself. He left at that. So I had to give my name. I am coming from India. I am coming from Ramakrishna Mission. And what is Ramakrishna Mission? What is Swami Vivekananda? Who was Swami Vivekananda? From there I had to start. So 10 minutes it took for me to give the background of Ramakrishna Mission and why we are doing service activities. And our disaster management work started in 1897 on 15th May. Swami Akhandanandji, he was going in West Bengal, in Mahua, and there in Daudpur village, one Muslim girl, he found her weeping. Then he asked her what has happened. The earthen jar that she had been broken, and they were very poor, so she was afraid that her mother would beat her if she goes there. Then he had only 4 paisa, 1 anna or something like that. At that time it was 1 anna. So he purchased one earthen jar for her and then purchased some sweets and gave to her. At that time so many other boys came, very poor, we are also hungry. So whatever little money he had, he purchased the sweets and now become literally a penniless beggar. Gave to them. Then he saw there was a great drought on that area, and then he was so much influenced. He said, he wrote to his brother disciples in Belur Math, I am not coming back. At that time Belur Math was not there, Alam Bazar Math was there. The Math was in Alam Bazar. So he wrote to his brother disciples, I am not coming, I cannot leave them. These people are just starving. It will be cowardice on my part to leave them like this. They said, but you don't have yourself money, how you are going to help? He said, I will beg. And he started begging some money and giving food to some people. And when Swami Vivekananda came to know about it, at that time he was in Darjeeling, immediately he rushed to Calcutta when he heard about the great drought that had come to West Bengal. And then he immediately wrote to Swami Akhandanandji, Bravo, well done, you are the real disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. You are seeing God in poor people, you are the real disciple. And he gave him a lot of encouragement. Don't worry about money, I will beg from here, you go on doing work. And he immediately sent 150 rupees. At that time 150 rupees was a big sum. Immediately collected 150 rupees and sent. That was the first disaster management program of Ramakrishna Mission, 15th May 1897. So all these things I told them, they were amazed. We are talking about disaster management now. We have been doing more than 100 years. And what the spirit that we are having, the spirit of service with which we are having, it is worship of God in men. That is how what we are doing. It is not for helping people. That also I told. This itself took about 20 minutes. Then I showed them that video CD that I had taken. And I gave running commentary. So they liked it very much. Had I taken PowerPoint presentation, I could not prepare it because of shortage of time, but it became a blessing in disguise. Because now I gave a video CD, a running commentary I gave, so it was very lively. In that video CD I have shown how the earthquake came on 26 January 2001, how it struck, and thousands of people died on the spot within 2 minutes. There was a car in which the bridegroom was going in Bhuj. He started for the marriage ceremony and there was earthquake and the car got smashed, all of them then and there on the spot dead. All these things I showed. How horrible was the earthquake, and thousands of people died, and millions of people got affected, and millions of houses got damaged, and thousands of houses completely smashed. All these things I told. That was all shown within 2-3 minutes. Then we started immediately relief work. Right on that day, within half an hour, our volunteers started relief work, because they know that whenever there is distress, Ramakrishna Mission will start relief work. So our volunteers, they started taking out the bodies, bringing them to the hospital, and then feeding them, and started our relief camp. And by night our Swamijis had already reached Bhuj. And of course in the noon itself, from Porbandar also, there are 3 centers in Gujarat, Rajkot, Limdi and Porbandar. All the 3 centers started their relief work right on that day, that is 26 January 2001. And for 3 months, day and night we were working, and millions of rupees of primary relief work, and thousands of families, we gave them food, shelter, then tarpaulin sheets and clothes, and blankets and all those things. Then we gave them food grains also. This is continued for. So the total expenditure was to the tune of about 30 million rupees. And then another that is yes, 30 million rupees. And then another 17 crores, that is 170 million rupees we spent for rehabilitation project. 170 millions of rupees we spent for this construction of 81 school building and 37 6 colonies. And we took up the project. The students were suffering because they were very much afraid to go to the damaged building. They were shivering like this, and so they would study rather under a tree. Now it's okay. Now the winter, the season, the rainy season will come in the month of June. Now what to do? So we wanted to construct schools on an emergency footing. So within 3 months we started giving them constructed schools. We went for prefabrication technology, and within the month of June we started giving them schools, and the children were so happy to get the new building. We told them these are earthquake resistant houses, no earthquake can do anything. They were so happy. They started dancing, and in the inauguration programs, how they were dancing, that also I showed. From tears to smiles, that was the name of the film that I showed. So they were very happy. Of course, the brochure was also given, that brochure that I have given here, brochure, and the speech that I delivered extempore is already put in our website. Already it is in my website. So overall, and then Dr. Kalla also gave a presentation. He was also invited, the scientist from India. So his presentation was also good. So on the whole, there was a very great impression created about India. So all of them, they said the third conference should be in India. So most probably the third conference will be in India after 2 years. Every 2 years this conference takes place on disaster management. So that is how in general the impression was very good. So 22nd I had my presentation, everything went off very well by the grace of God. 23rd morning I took French leave from the conference with the, of course, permission of the organizer. I said there is not important session, I am not involved in the plenary session. Final conclusion, I will come, but morning you give me leave, because I had no time. So we took leave, and then morning I went to see Shakespeare's house with Ellen Hunter, Stratford. And then there I was more interested not only in Shakespeare house, of course I liked it, but more interested because Shakespeare's daughter's house, that is Hallscroft, that is Dr. Hall was the husband of the daughter of Shakespeare. Hallscroft I was more interested, because in Hallscroft Miss MacLeod had stayed for many years. Many persons do not know. Miss MacLeod stayed for many years. He worshipped Swami Vivekananda's photograph there. She worshipped. So I went to see that Hallscroft. Now the whole thing has become a museum. Unfortunately, no photograph of Miss MacLeod or Swami Vivekananda. So I told Ellen Hunter to do something about it, and let us see what happens. There at least there should be photographs of Swami Vivekananda and Miss MacLeod there. Anyway, so 23rd morning, 23rd evening, I was in the conference. There is plenary session, and then 23rd evening, our Ellen Hunter had organized a talk by me on meditation. So some few people had come, and that was on 23rd evening. And 24th morning, there was this program, special program that was already arranged, Management of Everyday Life. That was a talk at this one, at Ellen Hunter's place. And 24th evening, they had organized my talk in Sri Krishna temple. They came to know, Gujarati community, Hindu Satsang Mandal, beautiful temple. So they organized my talk in Gujarati, but they wanted the talk. I said I could speak on Gita or Sri Krishna, but said no, we want on this subject, how to get peace of mind, because by that time already 2000 copies of my book, How to Get Peace of Mind, in Gujarati had been circulated in UK. So they wanted only on that subject. So that book has become very popular. So 24th evening and 24th morning, Bhogibhai Patel came to fetch me in his car from Coventry, and he stays in Leicester. So 25th we went to Leicester. There were two programs in the morning. There are so many Hindu temples, but I had two programs, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Both the programs went off very well. Same subject, how to get peace of mind. They wanted the same subject, and both of them were in Gujarati. So then 26th, that is 25th night itself, I reached Bourne End. Our center in Bourne End, and stayed there. Just now they were just starting their dinner when we reached there. So we reached at the right time, and 26th morning, our this Gopal Bhai Popat, Asian Foundation for Help, he had organized a big talk in a very nice hall, Kadwa Patidar Hall. It's an air-conditioned hall in London, very costly. So he had organized a public talk on the same subject in Gujarati. So 26th evening I went for that. Morning I saw the ashrama, our ashrama Bourne End, and then afternoon we started. We went to Gopal Bhai Popat place, and we had to organize about book sale section. What I had done is, I had carried with me some books from India, and some books I had already sent in advance for book sale section, Gujarati books. And for the first time, perhaps, all of them, they got Gujarati books in UK itself. They were getting English books, but Gujarati books on Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda, they never got there. But I carried them and I sent them in advance, and so we opened a book stall section also in Coventry as well as in Leicester and also in London. So we had good book sale, not very good, but then at least the people for the first time came to know about Gujarati books. That was the good achievement. And then the talk went up very well. That was on 26th. And then 27th 27th morning, I had to go to the I went to see London. So there are some buses, red buses and blue buses and all that. So we took a pass, so we can take any bus. And Bhogibhai and myself, he showed me London. And 27th evening I had a talk there organized by Vivekananda classes, Vivekananda Center, that is Dilip Lakhani. He is doing wonderful work in UK for preaching of Hinduism, propagation of Hinduism. He has introduced course on Hinduism in UK University. So in UK they take papers, and even the Western boys, the British boys, British students, they also write papers on Hinduism. And he takes classes on Hinduism, and not only one center, they have many centers in UK on Hinduism. So he's doing wonderful work. So he had organized a talk for the core group of about 40 people. And before that, I wanted to see some of the places visited by Swami Vivekananda, where Swamiji stayed. I was very much interested. So one devotee of a convent of this Bourne End Center, Rathin Das, I caught hold of him. I knew that he was writing an article on all the places visited by Swami Vivekananda. So he gave me a lot of information. He came with us. He showed all the places. Of course, we could see from outside. You cannot go inside, without permission. But we saw from outside. And then suddenly there was a change of weather. For so many days I had got good bright sunshine, good weather. But now they were telling me earlier also, you can't trust the British weather. And then I could understand. Suddenly there was a hailstorm, and there was a lot of storm and rains and all that. Anyway, but we reached in time, just 10 minutes before 8 o'clock, at the place where we had to reach in London for my talk. I saw there was only Dilip Lakhani and his wife to welcome me and Bhogibhai. There was none else. So I thought perhaps maybe because of this hailstorm the program will get cancelled, as it happens in India. But anyway, I didn't speak anything, but they gave me a cup of tea. When I went to the hall, just took a cup of tea, and then came back outside, came out, I saw whole hall is full. Within 10 minutes, whole hall is full. Exactly at 8 o'clock. They are so punctual. Within that storm, all the people came and the hall was full. So I could understand the great quality of the British people. This punctuality, they are very punctual. And when there is a program, they will certainly, if they are told, they will go. This is a great quality I saw. So there was a talk there on personal development that I did on 27th evening. And 28th, again, there was another talk in a women's group. They have been also sending some donation, and they have been helping our project, and they are doing good work among women, particularly for this. They do acupressure for the poor patients. So that group was there. That is related to Gopal Bhai Popat. So he organized my talk in that women's group on Holy Mother Sharda Devi in Gujarati. That was on 28th. And 28th evening I came back to Bourne End. And from Bourne End we went to Mida's house. The house where Swami Vivekananda had stayed with Swami Shardanandaji Maharaj. Mid's house, that is Mid's house. And that was Miss Muller. They were the guest of Miss Muller. And we saw that house. Actually, we saw the house, and from the window we could see, because we could not enter. We wanted to enter. We also gave the bell, but nobody came out. We thought, let us take a chance. If somebody comes out, we will request, please allow us to see their house. Nobody came. When we get lot of bell, then the dog started barking, so we ran away. And as I was running away, suddenly I found one car. I missed the car just by a fraction of a second, because there was a corner like this, So then I understood, in UK you have to be very careful while crossing the road. That was a great lesson, because I didn't see the car from that blind corner coming. It was going at full speed. There cars go very high speed. But because I was, the dogs were barking, so we went out. So we didn't see and just crossed like that. I should see whether the car is coming on, and then I should cross. That was a great lesson. Just by a fraction of a second. Otherwise, by this time, Ramakrishna Lok I would have gone on that day. Finished. So, God's grace, I was saved. Then we went to the field. The field is very nearby, where you know that incident that happened. That is Miss Muller. Bull. You know that incident? No? You know that incident? That bull came, and that one person was there. He ran away. Miss Muller could not run away, and so she sat down and in distress. And then Swamiji saw that Miss Muller is alone. So he stood in front of Miss Muller like this. And he told, he was just calculating mathematically as to how many feet he would be thrown away by the bull. And just then the bull came, and he came to a short distance, and he bowed down and he ran away. That place also I saw, that near the Mid's house, there is the field. That field also Mr. Ratin Das showed me. Then I went to Bourne End. It was night, time for packing up everything. And 29th morning, 8 o'clock, we started from Bourne End. Myself and Bhogi Bhai in his car. And Bhogi Bhai took a lot of muri, flattened rice, whole bag of them. I say, what are you doing? He said, you won't understand now. Later on you will understand. And later on I understood. He had taken a lot of thepla, prepared by his sister in UK, his relative. Lot of theplas, full box, and full gunny bag full of muri, flattened rice. Then I could understand, because in London you see lot of Gujaratis stay. But once you go to Europe, then you have to have Western. And I am vegetarian, plus there are a lot of foods there. I don't take bread and butter and cheese and all that I don't. So, in fact, for about 20 days, 15 days, my morning breakfast was muri, along with them thepla. Lunch, thepla with muri. Dinner, thepla with muri. And morning breakfast, muri with thepla. Muri is more, thepla is less. That is how it went on for many days. And when I would go out, you see, most of the time I'm traveling. You are not in ashrama, so no food. This is the only food. They had a very palatable food. It went on nicely for a few days. We started at 8 o'clock and we reached about 9:30 at the Harwich port. Now Harwich port we had to reach because we have to cross the English Channel. And so we took the ferry, the car ferry, and the stemline car ferry is the most speedy speedboat, the steamer, the highest speed steamer in the world. That is stemline steamer. We took stemline steamer, ferry boat. The car was inside on the ground floor, and we sat down. Beautiful, very nice arrangements. There's a restaurant. You can sit there. You can sit here. There are musical things going on. There's a book shop. There is so many shops. You can spend your time anytime, and go on taking little snacks, little tea. It goes on time, and seashore is there. Sometimes you come to the deck and enjoy the sea. Sea is full swing. The steamer is going. And it was such a speedy boat. Within 3 hours, we reached the Holland. The Holland port we reached. This was the Harwich port, and that is Holland port is Harwich or something like that. So there we reached about 12:30 or so, and by 2:30 then from there we took out the car and went to Amsterdam. Our ashrama in Holland is in Amsterdam, in Amstelveen, near Amsterdam. So we started there. Now we know, myself and Bhogibhai, we really enjoyed our trip throughout Europe, and there will be many humorous incidents that will take place. So we used to remember the film of Laurel and Hardy. So many incidents like that will happen. Laurel Hardy incidents will happen. Sometimes something or the other will happen. And we used to enjoy. So what happened, that we were going, and at one place there was some signal, so the cars were standing. So our car also stood behind one car. Then Bhogibhai started seeing the map. Now we are approaching Holland. So there we have to go. You can't ask somebody, so you have to see the map. So he was looking out for the map and all that. And he didn't know, the car started moving. Just opposite there is a car, We are behind one car. That car is stationary. And our car has started moving very slow. And I shouted, Bhogibhai, the car has started. By the time I shout, dum, a big such a big thing. My God, we thought gone. And it was such a big noise, loud noise. There was a couple sitting there on that car. That young girl got so much scared. Like that, she did like this. And then her husband or somebody, he came out, young man. And he was also very much afraid. And he saw the car and everything. Fortunately, no damage done. And then we asked for forgiveness. And he didn't say anything because we talked in English. Perhaps he didn't know English. And we didn't know Dutch. So somehow because of the language problem, he said, if I tell something in Dutch, we will not understand. So he left everything. He all sat down car, we also sat down car. Then we went. We were just approaching nearby. Now somewhere we can't ask somebody. We are just near. He comes every year, but somehow he forgot the exact location. He has come to the place. It's very near. So in order to ask somebody, he suddenly moved his car inside. He turned his car inside. And it went to now there in Holland, there is a lot of bicycling. So some cycles were going on. Now that is a cycle path in which he turned his car in order to ask somebody. And suddenly one person was coming with full speed from the cycle. And he did like this because, you see, the car has suddenly come there. He can't expect a car coming there. Fortunately, our speed was very less, because we were just wanting to ask somebody. And immediately Bhogibhai, very swiftly, he moved car like this and went inside the farm. And there was a field. He moved towards the field, and that cycle person, he went full speed because he can't give the brake, They are giving full speed. So there also we were saved by a fraction of a second. Here also we were saved. So God was always with us. It was a Thursday, Guru Day, Guruvar. So 29th we reached there. It was a Thursday. When we reached there 3 o'clock, that time every Thursday, Swami Sarvatmanand, he takes the classes. Sarvatmanandji, Lalji Maharaj, he takes the classes. He was very happy to welcome us, give a cup of tea, and some devotees were there still. We talked with them. I was very eager to meet Mr. Lee, but he unfortunately passed away. But his wife Sujata, Mrs. Lee, I met her, and then she gave me some papers and all that. So 29th evening I went for a walk with Lalji Maharaj, Sarvatmanandji, came back at night, some dinner. There only, you see, it's a small house. It's a small ashrama, small house. Swami Sarvatmanandji stays, and there is only Brahmachari, Mr. Dave. That's all. He prepares the food and all that. Only 2 of them stay. And very few devotees coming there. So 3 or 4 devotees. That day, because Thursday there are 3-4 devotees. Otherwise, only 2 of them. They do pray and all that. So that is 29th. We had nice thing. Then 30th morning. 30th morning they told, today is the birthday of the Queen of Holland. So there will be lot of rush. You can't move out with your car. Oh, a tremendous rush everywhere. It will be big fair in Amsterdam. You can't go to Amsterdam by car. So they say you cannot go anywhere. But I wanted to meet Mr. Joe. Mr. Joe, he at his house, Swami Ranganathananji used to stay every year. For 17 years consecutively, Swamiji used to go to the world tour, and he would start his world tour with Holland, and he would stay with Mr. Joe. So I was very eager to meet Mr. Joe Orshanis. Then I asked him, Sarvatmanandji, he said, you see, nowadays he doesn't come. He's become very old. Plus, he had some accident. He can't hear or something like that. Maybe he's bedridden. For many days he's not coming. And maybe he had some sort of misunderstanding with earlier Swamiji, Chidbhasananji. So maybe that is why he has stopped coming to the ashram, whatever it is. That I came to know. But I was very eager to. Then we said, we telephoned, but nobody was lifting the telephone. We said, let us take a chance. Let us go to his house. His house was seen by Mr. Dave. That Brahmachari Dave, he knew. So let us go. Let us take a chance. So we went there, morning. We went there. We called the bell. Nobody is coming. What has happened? The old man has died or what? We do not know what has happened. No response. Then Dave, Brahmachari Dave, what did he do? He went from the rear side, from the back door. He entered. And he entered there, and backside in the garden, that fellow old man was working in the garden. He found, and he was surprised to see him in the background. But Brahmachari, he knew. He was very happy. They said, Swamiji has come from India, he wants to meet. He was so happy. Yes, please come, please come. Then I told him, you see, I have come here to meet you because President Maharaj always used to talk about you. Ranganathananji Maharaj. So when I come to Holland, I must see you. Second thing is that I had heard his speech in 1993. Chicago Parliament Religion's centenary celebration was held in Calcutta, Netaji Indoor Stadium. There are 10,000 delegates and 200 speakers from 20 countries. One of them was Mr. Joe from Holland. And when he started, and I attended that seminar, I attended that convention, and then when he started speaking, he said, I never gave a public speech. So this morning I received a telegram from my son Narendra. He has got 3 sons. All the 3 sons' names have been given by Ranganathananji Maharaj. Narendra, Rakhal, and youngest is Tarak. So he said, Narendra has given me telegram. My son Narendra has given telegram. Daddy, don't worry. Sri Ramakrishna is with you. You give the speech. And so he said, I have come to speak to you. Otherwise I was very much nervous, but my son Narendra has given. So I was very eager, Narendra's son, and he's giving like this. So I was very eager. Then I narrated, oh, you remember that? He was almost in tears. He said, you remember all that? And then he became so much, with emotional. For 2 hours he talked about himself, his mother, and this and that. And then he was very, very happy. Then we returned, 12 o'clock. Myself, Sarvatmananji, Mr. Dave, Brahmachari Dave, we returned. While we were returning, on the bridge we saw some students were going. Now, they are all wearing the orange cap and the orange clothes. Now, the national dress of Holland is orange. So, that was the Queen's birthday. So, on that day, in order to celebrate Queen's birthday, they have to wear this dress. When they saw me, I am wearing orange dress, they saw I am also celebrating Queen's birthday. So, they like this. I also did like this. They enjoyed me and I also enjoyed with them. So they did like this. They were thinking, they don't know I am celebrating Queen's birthday 365 days. So then we came down in the, then we took lunch. After lunch, that time the, exhibition was going on. Flowers, tulips flowers. They are very famous all over the world. It is exported. Their main income source. So I had fortunately reached at that time. It was the proper time for that one. So that was the proper time. So then tulips flower show, I went. But in between we saw big fields full of tulips flower. So 1 hour we spent in that. Now, I was very eager to see Victoria Hotel, where Swami Vivekananda had stayed with Professor Dyson. I was very eager to know. And then it would be getting late. So we cancelled seeing the exhibition. That saved our money also. And we came back to the ashram. We had Khandan Bhavandan prayer. And then myself, Sarvatmananji, and we all of started in the train, because we can't take car to the Amsterdam railway station, because that day Queen's birthday, it full fare would be coming to end, but still lot of rush. So we went by local train. We reached Amsterdam station. I stood in the platform in which Swamiji would have stood, and then we went to Victoria Hotel. We went inside. We asked for the exact room number where Swamiji would have stayed in 1896, but they could not. Naturally, we could not give anything. But anyway, I think Swami Vidyatmanji also tried to do some research, but he also could not trace. Anyway, but we saw the hotel at least. We took the photograph, and then the fair was coming to an end, and then we came down to by train, reached. That was 30th night, and 1st May by car 8 o'clock after breakfast started from Holland to Germany. Then again we reached Germany. It was a long drive, but we were singing, having bhajans and Gita and talks and all that. So nicely the time went, and in between we would be stopping. And of course the Laurel holiday incidents go on, everywhere we are enjoying. Somewhere something will happen. So there what happened in between? Somewhere the service station we would go, na? So service station we would take a break. So I went to the toilet. Then I came out, and then I just opened the door, and I was amazed. An old lady was sitting in my seat, and that old lady was scared to see me. She was also scared. Then I realized I opened a wrong door, wrong car. By that time, Bhogibhai has taken the car to a different place. Another car has come, similar looking car. For me, all cars are equal. But they were very good, the husband and wife. I asked for forgiveness. My car is there. Previously, it was that place. So, and after coming out, and I was just drying my face, I couldn't see properly. It was just near that place. So like this, Laurel and Holiday incidents go on many places where I used to enjoy. I used to laugh afterwards very much, remembering those incidents, looking at the face of those people, remembering the faces. Then we reached about 2 o'clock at Germany. Germany, you know, they have started a center, that is at Bindweid Center, private center they have started. So that was an old building that purchased. It's a private center. Now they have renovated very thoroughly, very nicely they have made. Upstairs is the prayer hall, 3rd floor. There are 7 or 8 or 10 rooms where 20-30 people can stay on the 1st floor. 2nd floor is the prayer hall and 1 room for a monk. And ground floor, kitchen, dining hall, and big library, big room for lecture. Very nice facility. And it is all more than this, more than this place, full of trees all around, just like Mayavati. It is in the dense forest. And there in Germany we saw after some time you get a small village, 5 or 10 houses. Even this Bindweid, only 5 or 6 houses. That's all. One industry is there, 6 houses. That is the village. Everywhere, small villages you find in Germany. Roads are also small, villages are also small. From Holland. So, but 2 o'clock we reached. Then we thought there will be 2 or 3 persons, but Bhogibhai Patel had already told them. So Lily Chakravarti is the secretary, and because 2nd May was Sunday and it was a weekend, so she had organized a spiritual retreat that I didn't know. So there are 15-20 people received us, and then some more came at night, weekend. So we had about 20-25 people on the whole day Sunday retreat. Then in the evening, after this, in the evening we had, after the Aarti, they wanted to listen to me about this earthquake relief work and about Porbandar Center and all that I told them. Sunday hold a retreat. There was question answer session. They wanted, I said there are many subjects on which I could speak, but they wanted on stress management. Same thing, how to get peace. So again, stress management and then meditation and so many question answers. Whole day it went like that. And then and Sunday night after dinner, again informal chit chat like this. Then started on Holy Mother and Dr. Kalam and all that. And then Monday morning, 3rd May, again we are ready after breakfast to start for France. So we first went to, Lily Chakravarti came with us in another car to leave us up to Cologne. I could not go to Kiel, where Swamiji had visited Professor Dyson's house. I could not go also to the University of Max Muller. I also could not go to Berlin, but of course this I saw Cologne. We went to Cologne. That brick church is there, beautiful church visited by Swamiji, where the grave of the 3 wise men is also there. So we saw the church. Fortunately we got a good guide, so he explained to us everything. And at 11 o'clock, then we came out of the church. Then Lily Chakravarti came to a little distance to show us the path. So from the way we should take for going to France. So her car was going, then she came to a place, then she stopped there and she told us to go. So road number A4, that is what we have to take. So we saw the board A4 and Bhogibhai started full speed. So he loves driving, and he loves driving at full speed like you. And sometimes the cameras are there and sometimes he had to pay the fine, but doesn't matter. He goes on his own speed. So he went full speed is going. After a long time we found, when he said, what is this? The board is of Paris is not coming. There is no board. Something is wrong. Then, but Lily Chakravarti herself has put us on this path, so she cannot be wrong, you see. She is of this place. No, there is nothing wrong. So again we went for a long distance. Then he said, nothing, something wrong. Then at one service station we stopped. We asked the person. He said, you are on the right path, A4, but you have come the reverse direction. You have to go, after some time you will reach Frankfurt. Then all the 80 kilometers we had gone, We came back again 80 kilometers back to that place, back to Colon, and took A4, because you see A4 we had, that path was okay, but we had to take the path like that. We had to take a round. That round time, because he was full speed, he might not have seen that round path. Again we took back and passed. So everywhere afterwards we would laugh in 90 kilometers. Then he said, don't tell at Bonn, and otherwise they will say why you are late. At France they will say, they will enjoy that we had 90 kilometers extra journey. Extra journey, they would smile away. Anyway, so that is why it took time for us. At 9 o'clock we reached Paris, Grace, our ashrama. At 9 o'clock, but they had, with Mohananji came, he was waiting for us. He came and we said that this is what happened, doesn't matter. Then we read there. So that was the 3rd May. And 4th May, that is France. So morning I saw the ashrama. Now how to see the Paris, because by that time Bhogi Bhai has developed back pain. He can't go out. Plus whenever in Paris the most important problem is parking. Parking is a big problem. Plus he has got back pain. So I was just wondering how to see Paris. Particularly I was interested in the houses where Swamiji had stayed. Now suddenly it happened like this, that on 4th, while taking lunch, before taking lunch, Vitmohan, he said, one person wants to meet you. Mr. Sen, he wants to go to see Dwarka, have darshan of Dwarka temple, so he wants to meet you. Then he asked me, I am interested in having darshan of Dwarka temple in Gujarat, how to go? I said, don't worry, there is a direct flight from Bombay to Porbandar. You come to Porbandar, I will arrange all your travel to Dwarka, Somnath, everything. He was so happy. Oh, my whole burden is gone. Then he said, Swamiji, I will take you to Paris. Then he took me, so I got natural lift, God-given gift. I was wondering how to go. He took me in his car, but he said, only problem is parking. So I will show you from car, whatever I can show. Then I myself and Mr. Sen went, and of course Mrs. Sen was there behind. We all the places. Then one place he took us. So what he would do, one place where Swamiji had stayed with legates, Now it has become a store. It has become a store on the ground floor. First floor he gave a speech. It has become a store. It is selling those crockeries and all the so many items. So we went there. We asked these persons, but they could not answer anything. So, but then one young girl was there. She was a French girl, but she got interested in me, seeing my dress. That you are from India? Oh, my husband is from India. So she was interested in, well, I love India. Then she showed interest. Then she gave us the name of the address of the owner, whom we could contact, and we could know when did this house came, and then how this legate's house, when did they purchase, and all those details we could have. So that we took the details. By the time Mr. Sen, he is going round in his car. He makes round and comes back. If he cannot stay anywhere, police will take. Again he makes a round, and then he waits for us. So then we went to another house where this Mr. Bloyer, Swamiji had stayed with Mr. Boyer in the 5th floor, that building. We went to that building. So that building, of course, the gates are closed, So she said that you can see from outside. He said, I said, let us go inside. But the gate is closed. So we called at the bell. Then there was no caretaker. Normally the caretaker would be there. So there was none. Then I said, let us try, let us push. If it is open, we will go. We just pushed and it opened. Miraculous, it opened. And we went inside. Then we came to the lift. Now lift, we have to put that card, otherwise lift will not move. So there we will stand it. But then we saw one notice board where the architect has taken the notice to the tenants what he have to do. I said, take down the note of this developer, because he would be in full charge of this 5th floor, who is staying, and whether we can have a photograph of Swami Vivekananda that room or not. So you take down the name. By the time we are discussing, from behind inside the room, one old lady came. and seeing us like a ghost, she did like this. How did you come? We came from the main door. No, main gate I have closed. How did you come? She thought like a ghost we come from somewhere from the sky. So she was not ready to believe. Then we showed her, you see, the gate is open. Then she saw the gate is open. She couldn't believe how the gate opened. But miraculously it opened for us. So she was in a fix. Then she said, I will call police. Go out, get out, get out. Then immediately we ran away. So anyway, we could go at least to the inside. We could see the name and address of this one. And again, Mr. Sen was going round. So we sent Mr. Sen. And then he showed me so many other things from outside. The grave of Napoleon and all that. The museum, other various types of museums. So many things. He saw from a distance. And I came to the ashrama in the evening. That is what date? I think 4th we have come. Now then 5th, 5th morning I spent in reading the articles of Vidyatmanaji and trying to know about what Swamiji had done in France and all that. And in the afternoon, Bhokebhai took us to a palace, to see the palace, a nearby palace. 6th morning I had to go to the consulate, that office, police office. Why? Because I had asked for a visa, for a sanguine visa. So they gave me the sanguine visa, but they gave me only up to 7th. I wanted up to 14th, and my flight was from Rome to Bombay on 13th May. But they gave only up to 6th. So I had to change my ticket from Rome to Bombay. Instead of that, I had to make it from Zurich to Bombay on 13th May. That's what I had to do. So I wanted to extend, but they didn't extend. But then the morning went for that. That is 5th morning. So I came back, took lunch. Immediately afterwards, Vith Mohanji arranged for me. He said, you can't go by car because parking problem. You go by train. And then, doesn't matter. Then Vith Mohanji sent Ramji with us. So Ramji came with me. We went by train. Ramji, is a Nigerian boy staying in that center of Greats. About Greats Ashrama, that is a beautiful ashrama, quite a big land, about 9 acres of land. They have got their own dairy, beautiful house, and it's a very old ashrama started by Swami Nikhileswaranandaji. Ritajananji was there. Now Vith Mohanji is there. There is one Devatmananji also, one more Swamiji, and Gangananji also, 2 more Swamijis. Gangananji is a Muslim from Iran, and Devatmananji is a German. These are the three Swamijis there. And one brahmachari has recently joined, and some inmates are also staying, some old people and some other. So 7 or 8. Sarda is there. So 7 or 8 inmates. So they have a good lunch and all that. And during lunch time, they also did do like this, Brahmarpanam. But after Brahmarpanam, they will also recite the Holy Mother's message, last message. If you want peace of mind, do not look at the faults of others, rather try to see your own faults. In French. In Germany also they did like this. In Germany they did like this. That is, in German they read out this same message of this one. And then when they will start, after the whole thing has been served, after Brahmarpanam, then Vith Mohanji say, Benapati, like that he will say. And then they will start food. They say, have a nice meal. Benapati, like that he will say. And then they will start. So morning went for extension of visa, but we couldn't get the visa. Then in the afternoon, I went with Ramji to see the Paris by train. First we went to Eiffel Tower. Now Eiffel Tower I went, but I forgot to take the camera. Now what will be the documentary evidence that I have visited Eiffel Tower? So I asked, there was one photographer. They said, yes, there are photographs available. They will give instant photographs. They'll say. I asked for the photograph. They said it will be 20 euro. My God, 20 euro for one photograph. That's very, very costly. He said, but the photograph will be so nice. Oh, you will be looking like a Hollywood hero. I said, I don't want to become a Hollywood hero. All of them, they go for becoming this, So they say, it is such a nice photograph. Then first let me take the photo. If you are not satisfied, Then don't. I said, no, I don't want your photograph. Then I saw the cameras available, this throwaway cameras, 20 euro. I took one camera. I will have 36 photos, you see, instead of one photo. And so I took that camera on 20 euros and took many photographs. All the beautiful photos have come. So many. So then Eiffel Tower, we went up to the second stage, not to the top stage. Now there are two options. If you go by lift, there is a car lift. The cable car goes, automatic cable car. And you can go by walking also. If you go by walking, then only 3 euros. And there it is 5 euros. So we wanted to save 2 euros. And we went by walking, plus we can see so many things. With this 2 euros, we can have a cup of tea in the second floor, in the second stage, because I want to take a cup of tea on the second stage, because Swami Vivekananda had taken a cup of tea in second stage when he went to Eiffel Tower. So we just remember those memories, how Swamiji would have taken tea in the Eiffel Tower. So we took tea there, see all the Eiffel Tower, took the photographs, whole of Paris, and then came down. Then while we were seeing, one girl came and chased up, "If you don't come down, I am going to shut down." My God, young girl, because it was we didn't know that 6 o'clock this, cable car goes on operating, but at 6 o'clock this gets closed, this door. There is those who are walking. That I didn't know. I mean, we had not noticed it. So she had come all the way upstairs because she know that 2 persons are missing. They have not come back. Then she started shouting, "If you don't come down, I am going to shut down the door." Then we started coming down quickly. Then afterwards, of course, she became very friendly. She was a Muslim girl, very nice girl. They became very friendly. Then she took the address and all that. Then we came down, that is to back, and then we went to, I wanted to see the place, Sorbonne University, where Swamiji had given his lecture. 1900, in 1980, he had gone to speak at the Paris Congress, So that I saw Sorbonne University, and I wanted to see the place where Romarola used to stay, that house in Paris. So we saw the house from outside. Again, we could not enter because of the rules and regulations. I could not go to the grave of Napoleon. We saw from a distance, and those 2 museums, beautiful museums, we had to leave out. There was no time because it was already getting dark. So immediately we returned to the ashrama. 6th night, 7th morning, I must leave. Visa is expired, otherwise they will put me in bars, under bars. 7th evening is the last day. By that time I must leave Europe. So 7th morning we started by car, Bogibhai and myself. Same thing from Grates we started at about 8:30. Of course, we took the group photograph also on that day. And 8th morning, what did we do? Nothing else. And then we started for last destination, that is Switzerland. It's a long journey, but again same thing. Breakfast we had taken. Sometimes we'll take snacks, thepla and muri, everything. We don't have to spend any money, and we'll have nice benches outside, and we'll sit there and take nice tea and snacks and all that in between. In between there will be some jokes, there will be some humor. He'll be putting nice bhajans on his radio. There's a beautiful audio system he has got in the car. Sometimes Gita chanting and reading books like that. 5 o'clock evening we reached Switzerland, Geneva, our center in Geneva. In between, beautiful scenery also we saw, and we crossed that nice place, nice roads. Roads are all very nice everywhere in Europe. Beautiful roads, motor roads. Again, of course, sometimes we used to forget the path, and sometimes we had to come back. That is once or twice, not much. So anyway, we used to enjoy afterwards. We used to laugh on all those incidents. So we came at about 5 o'clock to Geneva, our center. Swami Amaranandaji is there. He stays all alone. He has given some books, some rooms on rent to the students to get money, because there it is very difficult to survive. The government is not in favor of this monasticism, all that, and Hinduism, all that. So it is very difficult to survive there. A few devotees coming on Sunday. I saw 10, 15, 20 devotees. They are all Indian. So Then he is living alone. That also he doesn't take regular food, you see. Sometimes once in a week or 10 days he will prepare some food. He will keep in cold fridge and he will take from time to time. And most of the time he is taking cereals and all those types of ready things, and he will put on hot water, and he has got his own way of taking fruits and all that. He doesn't take regular meals and all that. So suddenly we two persons have come. What to do? So immediately he said, let us go. After coming, within 10 minutes we started in car of Bhogibhai to a superstore to purchase all the items, because he has got nothing in his store. So right from vegetables and dal and rice and everything we purchased, and came back at night. And then they started cooking. Now they have to cook. So anyway, so that is already 7th night. And student, morning, he arranged for, he told one boy, student, to show me the olden part of Geneva, old part of Geneva. Went to, there is a church and all that. 8th morning. 8th evening, one gentleman, one Bengali gentleman, Mr. Ganguly, he is a devotee. He was working in United Nations, in Geneva. He took me to United Nations building, but nowadays the rules have changed. Though he was working in United Nations, but that day it was a holiday, it was a Saturday. It was something, maybe what day it was, I think Saturday. So yes, it was Saturday. So it was closed, so he could not show, but he took me the lake. Lake Lemon is there, and Pearl Lake is there. Lake Pearl is there, near this one. He showed me that lake, and then it started raining, so we came back. That was 8th evening. 9th morning, I went to the railway station with Bhogibhai to book my ticket, because Bhogibhai had developed back pain. Amaranandaji cannot go with me. So I thought I must find out my own path. On the 8th morning, what I had done, I went to the tourist office and I got lot of these brochures, whole of Switzerland, how you can go about, what are the places to be seen. I was particularly interested in Saas-Fee and Lausanne, where Swamiji had gone, how to reach all those places and all that. So I had carried out that information. Then I could get the information that there is a Swiss pass. See, there are many types of passes, but one Swiss pass is available for 4 days. 4 days pass if you purchase, then within these 4 days you can board any train, any bus, government train, from anywhere you can go. There is a lot of freedom with you, and that will be costing about 235 francs. Now what to get the money? How to get the money? Because I cannot use my ashrama's money. In Porbandar ashram a lot of money, but I cannot use it. I normally don't keep any money. Anybody giving money, immediately I give for books, this and that. I distribute. I don't keep me. Then Bhogibhai had undertaken all this travel. I cannot tell him. He would have gladly given me money, but I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask Amaranandaji also, because he was not very much encouraging me to go to all these places. Then I saw the envelope given by these devotees in Germany. They were very happy to have the retreat. So while I was leaving, they gave me an envelope. They said it will be useful to you for your journey. Opened the envelope. There was a beautiful card. They said, we are extremely happy for your lectures and we have been very much benefited, and this is just some very nominal sum for defraying your expenditure on journey. And I thought there may be some money will be there, but it turned out to be about 200 euros. 200 euros means almost 10,000 rupees. That means my whole ticket, that Swiss pass, I can purchase from that money. So as if God has given that facility also, arrangement for that pass, Swiss pass. I got the Swiss pass with that money that was given by the devotees, so no problem. So I purchased the Swiss pass. Sunday, of course, it was closed, so I had to go again on Monday. So Sunday evening, 15-20 devotees came, there was bhajan, and of course, then Monday morning, I purchased the Swiss pass, and then I went to United Nations building. Geneva. I saw that Geneva building, and then I went near the. I was all alone. Bhogi Bhai went back to us after leaving up this one. All was I alone. I was all alone. So I walked along the path where Swamiji would have walked on the lake side, you see. So I had nice walk. For 2-3 kilometers I walked. I spent my 2-3 hours. Then I wanted to go to railway station to confirm the timings and all that. I saw the map. There was a shortcut. I took the shortcut, and suddenly I found I am in a different place. Very peculiar place. I could understand I missed something wrong. So immediately I asked 1 or 2 persons, but they can't understand. I don't know their language. There in German, in Geneva, you have to talk in French. There are 3 languages in Switzerland. Geneva side, French. If you go to Zurich side, you have to speak German, and this side you have to speak Italian. 3 languages you have to know in Switzerland. I didn't know any language, so they couldn't understand me. They don't understand English. Nowhere in Europe, nowhere, everywhere English. With English you are poor. You can't speak to anybody. Then I came back from where I had started, and then took the right path. Took the big path rather than going for shortcut, because I had gone to a wrong place. I could understand. Very dangerous place. Immediately then I went to railway station, discovered everything, and reached at night on 9th. Now from 10th will start my journey to all the places where Swamiji had started. How much is your time now? Huh?
I've gone over 1 CD now.
This CD is, you put on new CD?
Yes, no, I'm not copying the CD, I'm copying it with the hard drive. But it can only be 70 minutes. Now stop there, I'm recording it again. Second session.
Second session? Oh.
They wouldn't all fit in 1 CD. That's why I started.
But then you could have told me.
No, I told there was 8 minutes left. Maharaj said I started.
But is it more than 8?
I'm recording still, it's okay.
No, but you put on new CD.
No, it's not a CD, Maharaj. I'm recording it with the hard drive. I'll copy the CD afterwards.
If it will go out, then
No, it won't go out.
you do one thing. We will have 5 minutes of break. What is the time now? Huh? You are feeling sleepy? No? And you do one thing. You prepare ginger tea. Let us all have a ginger and start interval. 5 minutes of interval. Okay? By that time you prepare everything, because hard disk is very dangerous. Sometimes it may go out. So on 10th morning, now I was on my own. I had already got the Swiss pass. For 4 days I could travel anywhere in Switzerland. So I wanted to make full use of that. So started morning 8 o'clock after breakfast, and I had already obtained the information how to take the train, from where to take the train. First went to the main railway station. From railway station I went to another station. From there I got the train for going there, and everywhere I used to wear the Indian dress, our usual orange dress. So they said in Switzerland it would not be good, but I said no, I will stick on to that. Only thing is that Bhogi Bhai said he had one spareable coat. He said at least you take the coat, there will be sometimes too chilly. So I borrowed one coat from him, and then they said it will be difficult because I will be coming only at night. I knew. So I took some snacks with me, the same thepla and muri, and little water, because water, there in Switzerland they don't allow you to drink other water, and the water is very costly outside. So I used to take 1 bottle of water, and that with the bag I started. In Switzerland they have developed the tourism industry very much. So there are various types of facilities and various types of trains. Golden Pass train, then this Glacier Express. And Glacier Express, about that they say, they advertise the slowest running express of the world, because it goes onto the mountains, on the glaciers. It goes over the glaciers. That is why it's Glacier Express. So it passes through minimum 200 tunnels, 300 bridges. It crosses, and it's going along, over and along, and inside the forest and all that. It's a beautiful train, beautiful, wise, nice train. Very small train. I mean, comparatively to this, I have 5 or 6 coaches, tourists. So first I took the Glacier Express. Whole day I was traveling over Glacier Express, going to various places, went all up to Zurich, but then I had to come back. So nowhere I could get down. In between there are very nice places. Many people got down, but I couldn't get down. Had I got down, then I would not be able to return at night to the ashrama. At night I must return to the ashrama. So I just had a nice trip to Glacier Express, saw many glaciers, saw many parts of Switzerland, beautiful lakes, beautiful mountains, snow peaks, so many snow peaks, took photographs and all that. In the train I had, of course, a lot of talks with some of the people. There one couple met, Indian couple. They are from Bombay. So they were very happy to meet me, an Indian there. In Switzerland to meet an Indian is a great thing. So they were happy to meet me. And then they said that next day they are going back to Bombay, and they requested me. They had one packet of khakra. Khakra is a typical Gujarati item, eatable. So a full bundle of khakras they said we had brought, because we knew we will not be able to take their food. So we had a lot of them. So now tomorrow we are going back, so why don't you please take this. So I got my bhiksha in Switzerland. It was a great thing. Madhukari, we normally, monks, we normally do madhukari. So we subsist on begging. Bhiksha, whatever is given, we have to take. So, but we got a lot of bhiksha in India, but in Switzerland it was very nice to get a bhiksha of khakra. So I took khakra bhiksha, put it in my bag. So it went on for a few days, that khakra. So now one more item added to my thepla and mudi, khakra. So that is how nicely I enjoyed the trip that day on 10th. On 11th I went by Golden Pass Express and saw the places where all those famous places of this one, of Switzerland, and again came back at night. And 11th, yes, 11th and 12th I went to this one, Lausanne. I went to Lausanne. Lausanne, Swamiji had gone himself. Lausanne, there's a big beautiful lake, Lausanne. Now after reaching Lausanne lake, what happened that the time was very less. I had only 1 hour. Afterwards I had to return by 6 o'clock train. Otherwise I would not be able to reach night. So and 5 o'clock I reached Lausanne. Within 1 hour I must see the church which was visited by Swami Vivekananda, and then I must see the other places visited by Swamiji. What to do? Now I don't know the language. As soon as I came out from the Lausanne railway station, I saw some 3-4 students sitting in front of the station on the bench. They were looking like Indian. So I talked to them. They were so happy. They were from Bangladesh actually. I said the new Bengali, and when I talked to them Bengali, they became so more happy. Then they said, within 1 hour, what you can do. They give me all this information. He said, thus opposite is that church. From there itself it was visible from a long distance across the lake. So that church was visible. So that is the church with 2 spears. So that was shown, and by that church side only that famous lion is there. And then this Lausanne lake, he said, with the other side I wanted to see the wooden bridge. Swamiji had seen over the wooden bridge 40 paintings on death. That was written in the biography. So I wanted to see those 40 paintings on death. So I asked about them. He said that bridge is there on that side also. Only if you come out from the church and you go that side. So immediately I started for the church. And a beautiful church, very nice church. Then there is I put some offering, 50 cents or something, francs, 50 cents. Some I put half a franc. Then I saw there was a board written there. Everything there is written in German or French, I don't know. So they have written 1 franc, and there are 4 or 5 types of cards. So I thought 1 franc you can get all cards. Maybe there is a system. So I put 1 franc in the box and took 1 card each, greeting card, where all the photographs of that church and this everything was given. The various photographs of Jesus Christ and the whole church and all those photographs. I took those and came away. Then I saw the wooden bridge. There were 2 wooden bridges. First wooden bridge I saw, there is no painting of death. It is all history of Lausanne. 40 paintings. Went to the other side. Then said, no, there is another wooden bridge. There are 4 paintings, 40 paintings on death. Then I went to other side. And of course I got all the 40 paintings on death. Oh, beautiful paintings. One merchant is just giving something, suddenly death comes. Now, time for you to come. But I have to take the money back. I have given the material, but let me take the money. Now, time is up. You can't take the money. And then another lady is like this doing for housework, and the death comes. Come. Death is shown with a skeleton. Death is coming. Like that. Beautiful paintings. One by one. And death can come to any person, any time. That has been beautifully shown. Then death comes. Then one bishop is giving sermon on death. The death can come and the death comes. He said, I am giving sermon on death. Whatever you are also to do. Whether you are, even if you are bishop, you have to go also die. So he takes them also. So beautiful paintings on death. So that also I saw. Then I was returning. I have to go very quickly because 6 o'clock is the train. While I was returning, I found in the market those cards are available. And there they have written 1 franc each. They said 1 franc you can get 1 card. And I have taken 5 cards. Then I felt very bad. My God, I have cheated God. Now what to do? Then now there is no time to go back to the church. But I said whole life, otherwise my conscience will bite me. Because I cannot return those, I cannot give you the 4 francs. How to send the 4 francs? Either I have to send 4 francs or I have to send the cards. Then I took the chance. I went almost running. Went to the church, put back those 4 cards. Kept 1 card with myself, asked forgiveness of Jesus and ran. And when I came to the station, just the train was leaving. So I got the train. Lord Jesus was with me. So very nice I had. So that was done on 12th. Now 13th was the real day. I had to see Sasfi, where Swamiji had gone, and he had got so much spiritual experience, high spiritual experience. He had gone into Samadhi state there in Sasfi, and there he told Captain Sevier and Mrs. Sevier to start Advaita Ashrama, and later on Captain Sevier and Mrs. Sevier started Advaita Ashrama in Himalayas, Mayavati. So Mayavati route is there. So I wanted to see those places where Swamiji all had gone. So 13th morning, 6 o'clock I have to start now. Because night 11 o'clock I must come back, and 14th morning I have to start back from there to Zurich, and Zurich my flight is there for Bombay. So that is the last day. The 13th early morning I started. We had to change one train, and from there we had to take a bus, and I took the bus and went about 10:30. I reached Sasfi, and then in Sasfi I first went to that cable car. I took a cable car for going to the mountain top as Swamiji had gone. There was a Korean couple. They didn't know English or anything, so they were in trouble. So I knew at least English, so they followed me. They became very friendly. They took my photographs. I took their photograph. And then we went to the mountain top, and there it was snow falling. Fortunately, I had the coat, otherwise it would have been a problem. Fortunately. And that day I was forgetting my coat, and Swamiji called me, "You have forgotten the coat." I came back from the bus stand, back and took the coat. Had I not taken the coat, it would have been a great danger, because a heavy snowfall. Snow was coming, and all around it was snow, snow, snow. And spent some time, but there's no time. I had to go from Sasfi again to I go to Zermatt and then return to ashrama. So I came back quickly. Now the bus was at 1:38 or 1:28. So I came back quickly. But when I reached there, it was 1:29, and the bus left it left before me. I am reaching the bus stand, and just the bus is leaving. I became so happy. Very nice. Because I was in two minds. I was wanting to go by that bus, 1:28. I took bus because it was written, everything was arranged. I will take that bus, then I will reach to the railway station. From there I take another train that takes me to Zermatt. Zermatt I spend 2 hours, and then I go back to ashrama by night 10 o'clock. Everything is arranged. If I miss that bus, then the whole program will be upset. But I also wanted to see Mother Mary's church which Swamiji had visited. That I had not yet seen. So I was in two minds, whether I should see the church or whether I should take the bus of 1:28. Fortunately the bus went, so my decision came. No, God wants that I should see the church. Now I asked for the route. So there is a walking. Swamiji had gone at that time from that place, that is Sasfi place, to the ground level, and there on the way there is a church, that is Mother Mary's church. So I also took that route. Now because those times there was no route, so people used to go. Now it is an abandoned path, because all are going by the main roads now, and big buses are available. 100 years back that was perhaps not available. So when I went to that path, absolutely all alone, I am in the forest, absolutely all alone, and I am going, but fortunately some boats were coming, that arrow. So I thought I am on the right track. Nobody else I can ask. I am all alone. Suddenly I saw a wild animal staring at me long distance. So immediately I took the photograph. When I came near, I wanted to take a photo still further. It ran away. Something like a deer. Anyway, then I reached the church. Oh, beautiful church. And there was absolutely nobody. Absolute peace. And such a beautiful image of Mother Mary. And then I just, you give 1 franc and then you can light one candle. I did that, and I meditated for some time, and such a nice atmosphere. It's all alone, absolutely nobody, and such a divine atmosphere. Now I can understand Swamiji must have got that experience there in Saspi, and it was very difficult for me to leave that place. I had to leave. Now another second bus also will go 2:28. So somehow or the other I extricated myself from that place and went hurriedly up, and went there. After 5 minutes the bus came, 2:28. Went to the railway station. I had missed the other train, but the second train came, which took me to Zermatt, but it was already 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock will be my train, so I got only 1 hour at Zermatt. So I went to the tourist office, asked that lady, within 1 hour what can I see? He said, very less you can see the museum from outside, but should not go inside, otherwise you will not be able to come out. But there is nothing much to see. There is a nice church, also small church, and something you can go to the lake side, and of course you can have view of all the. From Zermatt you can have so many mountain tops view. So I took the photographs of all the mountain tops. Of course Swamiji had gone to the top of mountain from Zermatt. He could go to a little distance. Captain Sevier had gone to the topmost. He could not go to the top, but he had wandered along. But I could not do that. I had a shortage of time. Anyway, I had at least a glance of those glaciers and those mountain tops. And then I went to that lake, went to the museum from outside, came back to the Zermit station. When I was just boarding the train, I was going to the station, there were so many students, they were also boarding the bus. And looking at my dress, they started laughing. Very curious, curious type of dress. I am not wearing pant and shirt and all this time, and this orange and all that. So they were laughing, and I also started laughing. So they were trying to make joke out of me, So they did not think that they thought I will become annoyed. Instead of that, I started laughing. So they became my friends. So when the train was going, they were going by bus and they were doing like this. So I really enjoyed. Then that is in the way I met a lady. She got very much interested in this dress and this and that, but she didn't know any language. She didn't know English, and I didn't know. She knew 3 languages only: German, Italian, and French. I didn't know any language, but she was she was speaking in broken English. But she was very sweet lady, old lady, but very sweet lady. She had her daughter there in Zermit, and she had come to meet the daughter. Now she was going back to her place in somewhere in Switzerland. Anyway, but one Christian father came in between. He knew, so he became an interpreter, and then that lady became very friendly. Then I got down at this Geneva lake. Already I have told you that's a beautiful lake that I had already wandered on the first day, and Swamiji had already done a lot of boating there in that lake and had taken bath there. So I couldn't take boating because I was all along traveling on the row path, and that itself became evening. But I had spent a lot of time in Lake Geneva, and when you travel by train, oh my God, lakes and lakes and lakes and fields and lakes and mountains. Switzerland is really the heaven of earth. It's a beautiful place, no doubt about it. They say very rightly, it's a beautiful place. But particularly I liked, most important, Saas-Fee, that Mother's Church, Mother Mary's Church. I can't forget that divine atmosphere. And then, so I reached on 13th evening night. Now 14th morning, it's time to pack off from Switzerland back to India, and then packing, and then Swamiji Amaranandaji came all the way to railway station to see me off, and on the I took the train, local train. You see, I saved my train expenditure because the same pass is now available for me from going from Geneva to Zurich all the way, 4 hours journey, free, because with the same pass. So that pass was very useful. So I took the pass, and then I sat down. While I was sitting on the chair, it was almost a vacant, it was not office time. So it almost vacant, 2 or 3 chairs. When I was sitting down, I saw something glittering under the seat. I took it, something like a pen, but I couldn't understand what it is. It's golden, but golden looking. Maybe gold or not, I do not know. Now what to do? If I deposit, I have to go to the police, and they already my air ticket is there. If they tell me to give something in writing, this and that, they will be taking time. So I was in 2 minds what to do. So I just kept it with me. In between, one girl came, a European girl, maybe a Swiss girl or Dutch girl or something, Italian girl. She was selling newspapers, looking like a good girl, I mean from a good family. So she came and, please purchase newspaper. I said, I don't know, you see, this German or French, what will I do with newspapers? Why are you selling newspapers? I said, you see, I have been driven out from my home You look like to be good girl. I have been driven out by home, then I have to meet my expenditure. So I am doing like this. I became very compassionate. I was feeling very bad about how to help her. Then I said, you see, I don't know this one, but then I just suddenly strike me. I can give that one. I showed, what is this? Please show me. Oh, is it pen or what is there? It was golden looking. She immediately thought, oh, you want to give me? Yes, yes, yes. And then she ran away. So anyway, good maid use good of. It was most probably this one, You do the ladies, they do the eyebrow. It was something like that. But it was golden looking. Golden or I do not know, but golden looking. Anyway, so she was very happy. She ran away. And then I reached the airport. Zurich airport is also like Dubai airport, wonderful airport. It's almost like a whole city, so much a big complex, so many shops, these, that. And then I found there's a meditation chapel. Now there's meditation chapel, as I heard, America, it is come in Zurich also. I went to meditation chapel, meditated for some time. Maybe some Christian organization started that meditation chapel, but beautiful chapel. On the airport, Zurich airport, meditated there. There was time for me. And you see, you go directly to the railway station, Zurich. Zurich railway station, there are two railway stations. One is Zurich railway station, one is Zurich airport railway station. So directly you go inside the airport. The train goes inside the airport. So you just take a trolley and go up and you are in the airport. You don't have to go anywhere. That's a great thing. Amsterdam also. So I went to that one, then I took the flight, Emirates Airways. Again I took the flight about say 3:30, and night it reached about 10 o'clock at this one Dubai. And again the next flight was morning night 2 o'clock or something like that. So there's a lot of time, 4 to 5 hours. So Dubai airport, you can spend the time. You see so many shops, all this duty free shops. So I was under the impression duty free means you don't have to pay any duty. I was under that impression. So then I purchased, from a long time we wanted to purchase a multimedia projector for our ashrama. So I purchased a multimedia projector. But then when I landed at Bombay airport, I came to know that I was in the wrong impression. I have to pay custom duty. That I didn't know. Anyway, so those people that told me, you see, some of the people, you see, you have brought this multimedia, but I kept it outside. I could have kept it inside the bag. I didn't want to hide anything. So it was outside. They could understand. So they said, you have brought this one. If you want to save duty, we can find you the path. I said, no, I don't want to hide anything. If it is illegal, I don't want to do anything illegal. If it is legal, only I didn't take it. So I went to the officer. I said, I don't want to do anything illegal. I said, no, you have to pay the duty. So it was a heavy duty of about 40,000 rupees or something like that. I didn't know 40% duty will be there. So the cost was only 1 lakh rupees. I did not have that money also. Then of course the big officer was called. Then they made some concession. About 30,000 rupees I gave. But I said I want to give. Otherwise I said, the second thing was I had to keep the projector there. And when I gave the money, then they will give. But they gave. They said whatever money, everything, pounds, rupees, whatever I had, completely I gave. Everything. This is what I have got. So they were very appreciative. So they wrote down like this, 25,000 rupees. So got multimedia projector. Then so that whole procedure took 2 to 3 hours, Because of that, they called their main officer, because it's a complicated case. I said it is for a charitable purpose. You see, it is not for me. It is for an ashrama. And so you check up your thing. There must be some exemption for that. So they called their big officer. So now they didn't know the rules. And I did not have the rule book, otherwise I could have shown. But I had heard something like that, that it is, if it is for a charitable purpose, they may exempt. Anyway, I gave the duty. So all this takes 2 to 3 hours. Now I was to reach there in the morning at about 8 o'clock. So I reached there, the plane reached at 8 o'clock. But this procedure took 2 to 3 hours. So by 10:30, the person who came to take me, he was all along anxious. Why I am not coming out? And my mobile is with him. I had kept the mobile with him because there is mobile I can't carry in Europe. So absolutely he could not contact me. Anyway, he was staying outside. And other people, they got anxious. So they were all searching for me in the ashrama. What has happened? But anyway, then I reached about 11:30 to the ashrama. That was on 13th May. On 14th May. 14th May I reached, and then I went to Porbandar. That's how my Europe tour.